What's happening with the Diddy trial, I wonder? It appears that they are attempting to get in and out of the courtroom, but Judge Arun is not buying it. Judge Arun recently made an unexpected announcement and issued a notice that left many people perplexed. In case you were unaware. However, after speaking with my pals that study legal analysis, we have a breakdown. Let's get started though. People are claiming that D is sending a message to Diddy's team about not trying this after Judge Arun discussed the jury. Judge Arun appears to be blocking all of the legal avenues for Diddy to escape unless he ends up partying with him, and it doesn't appear that Trump will pardon him. Alright, what was the order then? On the 2020, he dated this. According to him, the court mandated that the jury in this case be kept partially sequestered and nameless to the public. As part of that order, the court also instructed the court clerk to arrange transportation for the impaneled jurors from the courtroom located at 500 Pearl Street following the conclusion of jury deliberations. This order is a nunc-pro-tunc order of the court that memorializes the directive. It was really well organized. Why is this so damaging for Diddy's team, you guys? It's good for our team and shows that this sin sitting won't work out the way Diddy expects it to. Give me a moment to listen. Since there is so much to look at, let's get started. Hold on a second. Alright, so for those of you who are wondering why Judge Arun would give this order at this very moment, what the hell? Because Judge Arun is limiting the appeal loopholes according to legal experts. They claim that because the jury was tainted, Diddy's team will contend that the verdict ought to be overturned, under duress, or treated incorrectly. Let me just say this now, shall I? In my heart, I think that the jury members who decided Diddy's case dismissed him because of his fame since there is no other explanation. Well, in my opinion, but did he get away with RICO even if they didn't? I think he got away with trafficking SMEX. Based on his testimony, they found him guilty on 2 offenses of the Mann Act. And I'm referring to Diddy and his supporters in this way. You do not wish to be held responsible for their actions. Because even though the jury slapped you on the wrist, you are now claiming that the jury was somehow corrupted, under pressure, or handled unfairly, and that the judgment should be overturned. Judge Arun also stated that they have until September 3rd and beyond that date. He doesn't want to hear any more about this nonsense. You had best count your days, Diddy. Additionally, they stated that if the record appears sloppy, for instance, if sequestering or anonymization weren't explicitly ordered, the defense may argue that the jury's impartiality was compromised and that a new trial is necessary. What is this news, this neck prot? Retroactively patching up that hole by claiming that we did order all the appropriate protections is what we'll call a neck of your buck order. I'm only formalizing the fact that they were there. It is therefore essentially retroactive. It says, I did this, but I didn't formally put it on the record. However, I followed all the procedures, so I'm now putting it on the record. What's wrong with you then? There is no basis for an appeal. You get this now? Furthermore, let's face it, Clayton Howard, whatever the F his name is, and the real escorts themselves testified to this. He appeared to be in need of Nivea, lotion, chapstick, and Dove body wash all at once. He was the one who genuinely claimed to have written a book, or to have been writing one, or to have mentioned that he was involved in it, what transpired, how the smacks work, and how he got recruited. Many individuals acknowledge that he enjoyed using prostitutes. People's belief that it's not criminal in any case is not my fault. Correct. Additionally, they claim that the court is taking these actions to safeguard jurors even after the decision has been rendered. They claimed that one of the most influential and infamous people in music had just been found guilty by these jurors. Among them, one would have been strong. They could experience threats, stalking, or harassment even after being released. Who is threatening the jurors, harassing them, or stalking them? You must stop if you are. Through honoring transportation, acknowledging that they actually used it, and ensuring the jurors' anonymity. It is the judge's responsibility to ensure that jurors cannot later claim, "We were left exposed and unprotected after the verdict." That's crucial in the event that jurors are drawn into appeals or media attention. Judge Arun, come through and defend. There's more though. There are potential angles now. When Diddy's attorneys move for a new trial under Rule 33, they'll probably claim jury misbehavior or prejudice. Now let's discuss the potential allegations that Diddy's team is attempting to utilize to get the jury tossed out or a new trial held. And listen, is it my fault that they tried? No. Take a look at what that stupid jury did with Mark Agnilio, who claimed that it was a contemporary love story and received compensation. Cassie was a crazy young woman, pollution of the media. They can contend that jurors were unable to adequately consider because they were subjected to constant media attention. By stating that they were shielded, anonymous, and partially sequestered, the judge has essentially undermined all of that. They're also attempting to make the case for corrosion and fear. The defense may argue that the jurors' guilty verdict was influenced by their feelings of intimidation from security measures, publicity, or fear of reprisals. These safeguards are now reframed as supporting rather than coercive by this directive. They could also claim that the court handled the case improperly. The defense would contend that jurors were not constitutionally sequestered if they could demonstrate that the judge did not make a formal order at the appropriate time. However, by making the safeguards official as though they had always been, the judge's recent order, which was once again merely formalizing something that had already occurred, removes that from the table. What then is the main conclusion or lesson from each legal analysis I've encountered? Indeed, following the verdict on July 3rd or 4th, the jury was freed. That's not to suggest, oh, the jurors are somehow still being protected. No. But the goal of this late August directive is to shield the verdict from criticism. The judge is aware that Diddy's team will attempt to take advantage of any procedural error involving the jury. He is now returning to file the record. Judge Arun is simply stating, Diddy, don't even try it. This jury was safeguarded throughout, and I have now solidly documented it. Listen, everyone. What are your thoughts on this? Okay. Remember that if you buck, it's a pro, whatever that means. I'm not fluent in Latin. If I had taken it in high school, you guys could, but I'm not interested. Correct. Backdating is what that is. All right. Once more, the judge is commemorating safeguards that existed before to discussions, but were not legally documented. The judge locks in the record for appeals by issuing this noun. Therefore, Diddy's team cannot claim that jurors were not legally protected, and it is ensuring that jurors remain legally and logistically covered until the matter is resolved. What are your thoughts on this, guys? I am aware that Diddy believed he would receive that pardon. It doesn't appear to be approaching. They're struggling to make ends meet. They're doing everything. Do I hold them responsible? No, because they are selling their souls for millions of dollars. Correct. Once more, if you consider it to be similar to a football game, who won? Oh, we can say whatever we want rather than exposing the world to the identity of someone I consider harmful. However, it appears that Judge Arun is becoming more rigid. Diddy is also keenly examining Drew Dixon's case against La Reid. Reid is now going on the defensive and claiming that he lacks the funds to pay his attorneys. As far as this is concerned, people are saying no, but what if Judge Arun does grant him a substantial length of time? Oh my God, I don't have any money, so I can't even pay any of these civil cases, Diddy will attempt to declare. Emulating the lottery. And don't waste your time if you want a civil case. This place has no money. The only issue with that is that I don't believe La Reid will find it effective. Diddy won't be able to handle that, in my opinion. Why don't I believe that this will work for La Reid now? Yes, for several reasons. La Reid is dead to rights with Drew Dixon's. Everyone wanted to see what it was like to be in charge of an industry, truly in charge of things, and then be harassed, do the right thing, and then walk away. In fact, Drew Dixon did just that. She left, but she wants commissions and compensation for the harassment. What are commissions on? He couldn't have his way with her, so she bought La Reid, Kanye West, and John Legend to be a DIC to her. No, he said. I will pass. She is requesting payment for missed commissions. All right. However, returning to the topic of Drew Dixon and La Reid claims to be broke. Virginia Guy's attorney is Drew Dixon's attorney. Yes, they have Jeffrey Epstein's statement on Virginia guy's Maxwell settlement. This EEV proof involving Drew Dixon is quite tight. Once more, pay close attention to everything. Naturally, tomorrow morning we will go live to discuss Diddy. Tonight, I'm going to try to go talk about Raven Simone. She has been behaving inappropriately on Instagram. But you're getting back to what I said, don't you? Well, yes. I'm not sure. I don't think Diddy and all of his fans will get the penalty they want. They claim that one of his strongest followers, whom I know, is currently incarcerated. Let's see how things work out when their monarch arrives as well. How do you feel about the judge preserving the record in the past? Once more, it appears like Diddy will actually receive justice from Judge Arun. How many years is the only question? Because, according to the prosecution, they are proposing far more than the first 4 to 5 years. Judge Arun reiterated that a fresh trial should be held by September 3rd for any matters pertaining to the appeal or overturning the appeal or the verdict. Additionally, he stops taking into account anything that comes in after September 3rd. Anyway, we'll see what happens, you guys. Please share your thoughts in the comments. I will speak with you all later. Goodbye.